Instead of trying to be someone that I am not, how can I enhance my own self? How can I be the best version of me, not the best version of somebody else? Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alicia Gogan. If you are new, don't forget to subscribe because it's a good time over here. Also, before I get started, this set, it's actually a 3-piece set. I'm just not wearing the skirt, but one of my friends actually has her own company and she sent this to me. It's not sponsored, but I figured maybe some of you guys would ask, so I will have her website linked in the description. This is like such good quality material, and honestly I just feel like I'm living my elegant soft life when I'm wearing this, so definitely go check that out. I've heard a lot of people on the internet talk about how you are your only competition. And although I understood what that meant, I never really felt that or really stepped into the identity of believing that I truly was my own competition. When I was younger, I used to be a Tumblr girl. I used to be on Tumblr all of the times. Like literally 8 hours of the day I would be on Tumblr. As soon as I got home from school, I would be on Tumblr. I would go all hours of the night just scrolling, creating a blog. My Tumblr was heavily like a beach themed Tumblr. I'm pretty sure my URL name was long hair, tan skin or something like that. I was truly obsessed. I was also really obsessed with following Instagram girls or just anyone on social media that I really wanted to be and that had the perfect body and the perfect hair and the perfect face and just everything that I wanted to be. I was somebody who really idolized beautiful women. I idolized people who had lives that I didn't have, even outside of beauty. If people had nice, beautiful homes or they had families where they got together every holiday, it just seemed like they had a very safe and loving and beautiful home. I really was obsessed with that, and it became almost like an addiction. I was so addicted to idolizing everyone else around me but my own self. I was obsessed with always watching what everyone else was doing. Even on YouTube, I would always watch people's vlogs, their day in the lives, their everything. And I want to talk about idolizing other people and the effects that it can have on your own self-perception and your own self. Now, I think that it's totally okay to be inspired by people. I think that we are humans that have so many desires and we are motivated by other people and the lives that they have and beauty and basically everything that we currently don't have. We like to work towards things as humans. And I think that there's absolutely a healthy balance, but I'm just thinking back at the time where I was so obsessed with people's lives, just like watching what they were doing and wanting to be them and just knowing that I wasn't them and trying to diet and trying to work out and trying to change myself completely to just be them. Thinking back to the energy that I was in, it was very much so that I was idolizing people and that I was putting myself down. I always looked at people as if they were better than me and more valuable than me and more deserving of me. And then I would just sit back in my own, I would look in the mirror really and look at myself and be like, you are not them. And I think the problem that arises with idolizing other people heavily is the fact that you actually lose a lot of your own power. You look at yourself, like I said, in the mirror and you tell yourself that you are less than. You essentially send a signal to your inner self, your inner parts, or your inner child that it's not good enough where it's at. And we have to be very careful and think about this when we're on a self-improvement journey, because naturally when you are working towards a goal or you want to change something about yourself, you have to be very aware of the signals that you're sending to your inner self that is you right now, that is not the most perfect person right now, that it doesn't have the body right now, that doesn't have the face right now, that doesn't have the home or the money or the success or the relationship right now. And I think over the years of self-improving and glowing up into the best version of myself, I've switched the energy in which I give my own self. I used to self-improve from a really self-hating place, and it was no wonder. There was a lot of reasons why I didn't like myself. I felt like I didn't fit in, and I was operating out of a lot of low self-esteem based off of my own childhood. And I would want to work out and diet and aspire to have this life based off of hating my own circumstance. But now the way that I self-improve is from a place of supporting myself and knowing that I deserve so much in my life while still loving and accepting where I currently am and my my situation right now, even if it's not exactly where I want it to be yet. And I really got to this place because after so many failed attempts at dieting, so many times where I put up with bare minimum from men, so many times where I was just dating to try and feel something and to validate myself, so many times where I would just put myself out there on social media and it was really based off of just trying to get some validation and trying to make myself feel better about myself. After years of being so hard on myself for not having what I told myself that I needed to do, and honestly, after years of watching other people live their lives, I realized that it was getting me nowhere, that it wasn't helping me, and that it was actually hurting me. That idolizing and looking outside of myself was hurting me. And when I realized all of the behaviors that I was doing, idolizing people and obsessing over what I didn't have and constantly trying to change myself from a really low place, I started to bring my awareness and my attention towards myself. And this is where you are your only competition really comes into play, because I realized no matter how much I try to change myself or be this person, I was never going to be the girl that I was reblogging on Tumblr. I was never going to be the vlogger that I would watch in a vlog on YouTube. We don't have the same life. I am not the same person, and that is okay. That is okay. So instead of trying to be someone that I am not, how can I enhance my own self? How can I be the best version of me, not the best version of somebody else? And it was honestly so over walking into rooms where I would always have my attention on the fact that somebody else had something that I didn't, an outfit that I didn't have, or money that I didn't have, or beauty that I didn't have. It wasn't making me feel good. Every time I would walk into a room, it was just like instantly my awareness was going to the fact that they were up here and I was down here. And ask yourself that question, or just drop into the feeling of what it really feels like when you idolize someone so heavily, when you just tell yourself that you are not this and that you are bad for not being this. It's a lot of separation. It's a lot of feeling like you're so low and that you are not enough. And what's really helped me is to remind myself that I have an inner child within me, and I will always have her. She's always going to be here. And every time I idolize this person, what I'm really telling my inner child is that she is not enough and that she is way lower than this person. And if you think about it, if you actually had a child in front of you, would you ever say that to a child? Would you ever say to a child, you are not as good as this other child over here? You wouldn't do that. But we do this all the time when we are constantly idolizing and obsessing over other people's lives. So I think if you're in this state of mind right now where you're heavily idolizing someone, or you're obsessing, or you're just constantly watching and consuming, and just at this point not even taking people's content as inspiration and more just an obsession, start to ask yourself the question of, how do I feel when I'm watching this person? Do I watch this person and idolize this person from a place of inspiration, like truly I'm gonna get up and go do my activities, or go to the gym, or become a better me? Or am I really just watching this person and feeling more depressed about my life, feeling crap about myself? And if you are, you really have to decide to change some of your habits, to limit the amount of content that you're watching, and really where your attention is going. When I realized that I was constantly consuming and idolizing other people, I honestly stopped following so many social media influencers. I stopped watching people's vlog channels all the time. I actually put a lot of attention in reading and learning. And when I did that, I was able to apply the things that I was learning in books or podcasts or YouTube videos to my own self. I was able to create habits that were really unique to me, instead of looking at someone else's life and being like, oh, I have to do it just like her, I have to have my life looking exactly like this person, I have to make money this way. I really stepped back and instead educated myself, took a lot of courses, really got to know myself and what I truly need. This is the thing, it's like we all have certain needs and wants in our lives. We value different things. We have different childhoods, which means we're going to need certain things in our lives. And to look outside yourself and to tell yourself that you should have the same life as someone else is honestly doing your inner child a disservice and yourself a disservice, because we are unique. And that's a beautiful thing to have. And once you start to step into more of that energy, you start to feel more empowered. It's not about now stepping into a room and thinking that you're better than everyone else, or that you don't need to have any inspiration or motivation or advice or anything from outside sources. But when you are obsessing and when you are in competition with other people, or when you are just idolizing someone so heavily, it's not a healthy state of being. You need to learn when to say no. You need to learn when to shut off your phone. You need to learn when to stop watching a YouTube video and go out and live your life. Even when it comes to learning, you need to come to a point where you need to put down the book and go apply the things that you're learning. Go live your life. When you're in a self-improvement era, you really want to focus on how to enhance your own self, how to be better than you were a few years ago, things that you can learn and you can grow from your own actions and your own behaviors and what you've done in the past. Because the truth is, there's always going to be someone that's prettier than you, that has more money than you, that in your eyes has more success than you. And what's really helped me is to just focus on my own life, my own growth. Who I am is way different than I was a month ago. And who I'm going to be in a month is going to be different than who I currently am right now. And that's truly my only focus. Do I get motivation from YouTubers? Do I get motivation from people on Instagram? Do I absolutely love Pinterest? Yes, I do, but I'm very, very self-aware, and I can drop into the feeling and check in with myself when I am watching these people to make sure that I'm not idolizing them too much or obsessing about them too much. And you'll know that when you start to feel like crap about yourself, when you start to tell yourself, oh, now I need to go back to the gym because, like, look at her body, it's amazing, like I need to just change everything about me. And again, there's a healthy level of getting motivated by someone, but you need to be very aware of the thoughts and the signals that you are sending to your inner child when you are idolizing, when you are consuming and watching someone else's content and life. It's time for you to start to empower yourself. Start to show up for yourself. Start telling yourself that you are enough. Start focusing on how to become the best version of you, not the best version of someone else that you are aspiring to be. Start setting boundaries that you need to set. Start saying no to people that are not treating you well. Start showing up for yourself. And if you can't think about showing up for yourself, because I know sometimes it can be definitely difficult if you really have a lot of low self-worth, think about showing up for your inner child. You have an inner child, and that inner child is always listening and waiting for you to bring your attention inwards. Bring your attention inwards. There's a lot of reasons why you're obsessed with the external, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that you don't feel deserving when you look inwards, and a lot of that can be healed by doing inner child healing, going to therapy, things of that nature. I have lots of videos on my channel about that. I also have a journal prompt guide, and it's called the Inner Child Discovery Prompt Guide. And this guide is really just to help you get in touch more with your inner child if you don't really have a relationship with yourself. And there's a lot of examples in there and just different prompts to help guide you through bringing out your inner child and learning how to affirm and love your inner child. So definitely go check that out. It is linked in my description. Also, I have a video on the screen right now, and it's all about healing your inner child. So please go check that out and let me know in the comments what you would like to see next. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the bell notification so that you are notified when I upload, so you never miss a video with me. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.